Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and I am delighted to welcome you to MADARA Cosmetics Investor webinar. We will start, as always, with company's presentation, which will be followed by questions and answers session. You are kindly invited to participate by typing your question in the questions box, which can be found in the settings panel zone. I would now like to turn the conference over to Mr. Uldis Iltners, the member of the management board and shareholder of MADARA Cosmetics, who will proceed with the presentation. Uldi, the floor is all yours.
Marta, thank you for introduction. Good afternoon, dear participants. Thank you for joining MADARA Cosmetics webinar today. Today, I will present the management report on the unaudited financial statements for 2020. As usual, your questions will be answered in the second part of the webinar. We have already received quite many questions from you before the webinar. Thank you. I'm glad for your interest, and I will try to answer them later in the second part of the webinar. Those who have not yet submitted their questions are very welcome to submit them now or during the presentation. Before we start talking about the results of last year, I would like to briefly remind you of the most important elements of our company. MADARA Cosmetics is the leading cosmetics producer in Baltics, specialized in producing of natural and organic certified skincare and makeup products. Our core business is within European Union with our own brands Madara and Mossa. Innovation is an important element for our business. We are among the most innovative organic certified cosmetic producers in Europe, actively working on new natural and organic products in close cooperation with Latvian universities. Every year we launch new products. Last year was actually very successful in terms of new product launches, and I will talk about that later in my presentation. The company has been listed on the Nasdaq Riga First North since November 2017. Company offers shareholders benefits program, is retail investors friendly, and prepares ESG reports. So it was in few words about the company, and now we will continue with the results of last year. Last year has been very successful for our company. Not only have we continued to grow rapidly, but we have also achieved the best results ever in a number of financial indicators. Last year we worked with a turnover of 16.1 million euros, and this is an almost 40% growth compared to the previous year. Given the current situation, the share of e-commerce in our business has grown significantly, and the proportion of direct e-commerce channel increased by 14 percentage points last year, which is actually a lot. If we look at profit margins, we also see great results there. And in the second half of the year, we were able to continue the trends of the first half of the year. Last year, we have achieved 4.2 million euros EBITDA, which is a 94% increase compared to 2019. Last year we managed to reach 68% gross margin, which is also the highest result ever. This is largely due to increase in the proportion of e-commerce and the increase in the average selling price. Of course, the production of higher volumes also had a positive effect on gross margin. Net profit has increased by 119% compared to 2019. The net profit margin is 21%, which is 7 percentage points more than a year earlier. Now, let's take a closer look at sales breakdowns. In this slide, we see the geographical sales breakdown, and there isn't really much to comment on here. The distribution has remained exactly the same as in the previous year. 67% of turnover has been achieved in the European Union markets, 27% in Latvia, and the remaining 6% come from sales outside European Union. The largest market outside Latvia remains Finland, which grew by 6% last year. Rapid growth last year was achieved in Germany and France, which are the company's next largest markets in the European Union. So looking at the sales by categories, we see that the share of the mother brand in total sales has increased by 4 percentage points and accounts for 89% of turnover. The Mossa brand share has maintained its previous position, falling slightly by one percentage point. Contract manufacturing has experienced a significant decline last year, falling to 1% of total turnover. The decline in contract manufacturing part is directly related to the situation caused by COVID-19, and although we expect this segment to recover soon, it is still difficult to predict further developments. So looking further at the distribution of the mother brand by product groups, first of all, I would like to highlight the increase in the share of the makeup product group. The makeup line was launched in September 2019 and has since then grown successfully, gradually gaining an increasingly significant share. Last year, the makeup line accounted for 12% of mother brand sales. In the second half of last year, we launched lipsticks, for the production of which we have invested approximately 100,000 euros. It is planned to continue makeup line development this year by adding new products and opening new sales channels. The other product groups have maintained an approximately similar proportion as in 2019. So let's look at some more figures. Here we see a summary of the income statement. We have already talked about last year's 12 months results. Here we can look at the results of the second half of last year. In the second half of last year, the turnover amounted to 7.9 million euros, which is a 32% increase compared to the second half of 2019. Gross profit for the second half of the year amounts to 5.7 million euros, which is an increase of almost 58% compared to the corresponding period of 2019. Net profit for the second half was 1.6 million euros, which is 110% more than in the corresponding period of 2019. At the end of last year, we announced a new turnover guidance, planning to reach a turnover of 27 million euros in 2023. This year has started well for our company, and I can confirm that the goal remains valid. In the next slides, we will look at the most important events of last year. So last year's biggest challenge was to adapt to the new situation while continuing to focus on growth. Although it required quite a lot of effort, I believe that overall we have been very successful in meeting this challenge, and this is largely due to our developed e-commerce segment, which was able to successfully offset the decline in certain physical sales channels and make a significant contribution to last year's growth. The company has fully adapted to the existing situation, and in this mode we can continue to work successfully and efficiently for as long as necessary. Of course, we hope that the world will return to its previous normal mode very soon this year, but if not, then we are ready to work as long as it will happen. Also, last year we have continued to strengthen our position as one of the most innovative manufacturers of natural and organic cosmetics, and have successfully launched new products and product lines. I have already mentioned that in the second half of last year we launched lipsticks and lip balms on the market. In addition to lip products, we have launched a number of other products on the market. The new, if I can say, heroes are Time Miracle jelly and Fake It serum for face, which have rapidly become the bestsellers. New products played a significant role in the company's growth last year, generating in total 2.2 million euros from last year's turnover. Here are some pictures of our new products. On the left side are the new products launched this year. More interesting and innovative new products are expected later this year. Given that the company plans to continue to develop and reach a turnover of 27 million euros in 2023, we have started work on increasing the production capacity of the existing plant. The goal is to improve the company's organization production and logistics processes, as well as to supplement the company's technological equipment, which will allow us to double the production capacity compared to the level of 2020. We have already made significant progress, and I can already say that production capacity has been increased and is sufficient for further growth. I would also like to mention that that long-term investments to increase the production capacity will not significantly exceed the level of previous years, and the level of previous years was something around 1 million euros. We have reached the last slide of this presentation. I would like to remind you that you are welcome to follow the investor news on our investor page, investors.madaracosmetics.com. I'm also pleased to inform you that in February this year, Madara Cosmetics received the Nasdaq Baltic Award 2021 for the best investor relations in the Baltic first North market, and yeah, I can promise that we will continue the current practices. Yeah, so we have looked at the year's results and key events. I hope you found it interesting. In the appendix of the webinar presentation, which will be published later on the Nasdaq system, you will find full information on the financial statements. Yeah, thank you for your attention, and now I will be happy to answer your questions. So as I told, we have already received quite many questions before the webinar. So I will start with these questions. So the first question is what was exactly disposal of investments in amount of 950,000 euros? What was sold? We had invested part of our free funds in bonds, and in the beginning of last year, given the current turbulent times, we decided to sell the bonds, and it was successfully done in the first half of last year. The second question is how company plans to achieve forecasted growth. What markets, segments, sales channels? So the answer, further development of e-commerce will play an important role. However, e-commerce will not be the only driver of the growth. So we plan to continue to develop in our existing European markets, where, in our opinion, there is still a great potential for further development. We expect to achieve significant growth in the coming years in countries such as Germany, France, the Netherlands, the UK, and Spain. So then the next question: what costs component is most volatile or includes biggest risk regarding increase? Yeah, it's a good question. If I now have to name some cost groups that could fluctuate, I would say e-commerce advertising expenses, as it depends to a large extent on the level of competition, and competition in e-commerce tends to increase. Then the next group is probably salaries. In general, in Latvia, a relatively rapid increase in salaries is expected in the coming years, and if these forecasts come true, it could, to some extent, affect the salary costs of our company. However, in general, I do not anticipate that these increased costs could have a significant impact on the company's economy. So the next question is, what are the main sales channels right now? So in my answer, the main sales channels are our direct and indirect e-commerce channels, and the other group is physical sales channels in Latvia, Finland, Germany, France, and other European Union countries. So this was really in short. Then the next question, any new countries added as sales area in 2020 and plans for 2021? Actually, no new countries were opened in 2020. However, in some countries, distribution model has been reorganized. For example, since the beginning of this year, our company has taken over distribution in the Netherlands, Belgium, and the UK, where we will follow the same distribution model as currently in Germany and France. So it means we distribute our products by ourselves. So the next question is, what are the hottest trends right now in eco-friendly cosmetics world? So the answer, the world of cosmetics as such is getting greener and greener. It's actually quite difficult to name any specific big trends. There are many smaller trends. Part of them are connected to ingredient R&D. More and more very good or better eco substitutes are emerging for synthetic ingredients. So then the next question, your biggest competitors in your sales area. I have always found it difficult to answer questions about the biggest competitors and competition as such, because the cosmetics market is very saturated, and the consumer chooses products from different segments. Therefore, to some extent, all players can be considered competitors. So if we look only at the eco cosmetics industry, then the biggest competitors in part of our markets could be the large German eco cosmetics producers. But yeah, as I told, the market is really saturated, and it's really difficult to say who is the closest competitor. It really depends from market to market and from sales channel to sales channel. Interesting that, yeah, these large German producers, they, in our opinion, they are weaker in the e-commerce channels than Madara Cosmetics, and stronger in the physical channels. So this might be our current advantage. So the next question is your outlook on global travel retail business and its importance for Madara strategy in years ahead. So travel retail has never been a significant part of our business. Our largest travel retail customer is Tallink, and of course we see that this segment is significantly affected. We hope that this segment will recover soon, but in any case, it will not have a significant impact on our growth. Next question: given on significant capex plans and ever increasing strength of balance sheet, does management look at potential acquisitions? Yeah, good question. Theoretically, we are ready for acquisitions at any time, but we would only do so if it would allow us to grow our existing brands, Madara and Mossa. Most likely, we would be quite picky, and yeah, we do not currently have specific acquisition goals. So your next question is a company thinking about diversifying their long-term reserve into inflation hedge assets to protect from monetary debasement. Yes, we are thinking about it, but we do not plan to take any actions until the situation with the COVID-19 has stabilized. And yeah, if any of you have good suggestions, let me know. So then the next question: how does Madara's time to market for new products compare against the competitors within the major product lines? Yeah. If I understand correctly what is meant by time to market, then I can say that compared to competitors, we look good. Because product development and manufacturing process are fully integrated in the company, the time from product idea to start of production could be shorter than for many of our competitors. Yeah, so we can respond quickly to trends, and I think we showed it good in the first half of last year, when in response to COVID-19 market situation, we were able to launch products that meet current demand within a few months. Overall, our company's organization is rather flexible and able to respond quickly. In my opinion, we are quicker than say our bigger German eco competitors. So the next question is what drove the 7% percentage points expansion in gross margin? Do you view the 2020 level as sustainable going forward, or are you expecting decrease or further increase? Yeah, I already shortly touched it in my presentation that the increase of gross margin was uh, largely due to increased proportion of e-commerce part, and which increased the average selling price. And also the increased production volume gave positive impact, so the economy on scales. If we think about future gross margin, then I think yeah, it will depend of e-commerce proportion, and since we are expecting that um, e-commerce proportion will grow, then probably we will be able to improve the gross margin even more, but I don't think that this will be more than few percentage points. So answering the question, then the level of 2020 is rather sustainable. So the next question, given the moderate expectations for capex and the high level of profitability, what are the plans for the excess cash generation capital going forward? Yeah, so so our company has practiced that part of the profits are paid in dividends, and this practice most likely will be continued also in next years. And yeah, we are also looking at and thinking about several new development projects where we could use our free funds. So yeah, so it so I'm not ready to talk about these projects at the moment. They are still maturing, and as soon as we will be ready to talk about them, we will let you know. So the next question: what are the long-term expectations of the corporate tax level? Yeah, according to the current Latvian legislation, corporate income tax is calculated only on dividends paid. Yeah, so the amount of corporate income tax is directly related to the amount of dividends. So I hope I answered your question. So these were the questions which were sent before the webinar. Marta, do we have other questions?
Yes, thank you, Uldi, for the presentation and for answering questions received so far. Now let's proceed with questions received during the webinar. So the first question, with growing company size, do you observe economies of scale? For example, lower unit costs, ordering larger amount of supplies?
Yes, sure. There is economy on scale since part of our production costs are fixed, and this is actually quite a big part of the cost. So when producing bigger volumes, of course, uh, we um we get some economy, and every next piece we produce is for lower costs. Marta?
Thank you. You mentioned higher gross profit margin was due to higher EC sales and higher average selling price. What is the percent of EC sales in 2020? And also, why did average selling price become higher?
Yeah, the e-commerce part is around 1/3. I mean the direct e-commerce segment. So we do not publish the exact proportion. I can say that it's around 1/3, and last year this proportion increased by 14 percentage points. So the second part of the question was why the average selling price increased. So this is yeah, because uh, uh, the proportion of e-commerce sales increased. So it means that uh, not the average price in e-commerce channels increased, but overall the average selling price increased. Because in e-commerce we sell directly to end consumers. In other markets where we have wholesalers and distributors, so we sell for the distribution price. So it means by increasing the proportion of e-commerce, our average uh, uh, sales price is increasing. Hope I answered your question. Marta?
Mhm. The next question, what is the current production pattern?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, what is meant with this question, then we with increasing the turnover, also the production volumes increase, and yeah, this at the moment uh, 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 we are producing higher volumes than it was in the beginning of last year. However, as I mentioned, so we have enough production capacity for increased production volumes. Marta?
Mhm. You are expecting 20% sales growth for the next 3 years. What do you expect the sales, general, and administrative growth to meet this sales growth?
Yeah, so the administrative costs will not grow significantly. There might be um, increase, but most likely nothing really significant. Marta?
Mhm. What are the pros and cons of being located in Latvia?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Mhm. What are the pros and cons of being located in Latvia? So what are the
Yeah, yeah.
benefits
Thank you.
of
Yeah, I got the question. The I think there are actually quite many advantages being located in Latvia. So I think we have uh, um, access to really qualified employees here in Latvia for somewhat uh, lower cost than let's say our German competitors. Um, Also, yeah, our current location we are very close to Riga Airport, and there is advantage that also for e-commerce that we can uh, quick access to global couriers, so we can ship from Riga worldwide. So this infrastructure has been improved, and the global companies are investing quite a lot in Riga. So it's actually quite a good location for shipping our e-commerce orders worldwide. Yeah, and probably I'm very patriotic, so I don't see big disadvantages being located here. I think yeah, the one of our brand value is that we come from Latvia, that our roots are in Latvia, and yeah, so this our brand has a Latvian identity in several aspects. So I think this is very our we are come from Latvia. It's a very important element of our brand. Martin?
Thank you. Thank you. So the next question, how likely is that you could achieve the same profit margins in next 3 years as you achieved in 2020?
Yeah, yeah. It's of course it's a very important question, and investors would like to know this. Um, yeah. So last year we had achieved a higher profit margin than it was years before. Um, whether it will be sustainable and whether we will be able to achieve the same margin also in next years, it depends also from several aspects. One is, as I mentioned, is the overall competition in the e-commerce environment, and e-commerce uh, uh, advertisement costs. So if the competition will be much higher, it might increase our e-commerce advertising costs, and this might reduce our profit margins. Yeah, so it depends. It depends from quite many aspects. Of course, we will try to do our best to keep the um, existing profit margins also for next years. But yeah, it might happen that it differs from year to year. So we are also planning to this year to invest somewhat more into the brand recognition. So it might also make and short-term influence on our profit margins. However, probably it will give us improve our margins than in the middle periods in the next years. Marta?
How large is cosmetics market in Latvia, and what is Madara's market share? Who are the top other competitors?
Yeah, so this is again a question about competition. So the market size, I actually don't have exact numbers. So my guess would be that the market size is the cosmetics and toiletry market is something like 200 million euros. If we talk about skincare and makeup, then it's something probably up to 50 million euros, and our market share might be something from in this skincare and makeup. It might be something between 5 and 10%. This is really my guess, and not based on precise market research. And about the competition, it's very difficult to answer the question about competition, because it's some extent all players in the cosmetics business, they are somehow our competitors, and yeah.
Thank you.
Hope I answered the question. Marta?
What is the difference between brands Madara and Mossa? Why do you have two brands?
Yeah, so Mossa brand was developed for supermarkets and drugstores. This is a segment where we don't work with Madara brand. So Mossa is kind of basic range with basic formulations covering all skincare needs. Madara brand is more advanced with specific product specific solutions. In Madara brand, we use more innovative ingredients and solutions. Yeah, hope I gave answer. Marta?
Thank you. Next question. Do you see Madara to focus more on social media and influencer marketing to capture new audience and market as part of 2021 strategy?
Yeah, so we are already know we are quite active in social media and working with several hundreds of influencers globally, and so we will continue to develop this segment. I would also say that it's the influencers. This is only part of our marketing strategy. It's actually not that easy to capitalize the influencers. So it can be considered only as a part in marketing plan and strategy. Marta?
Is there any interest to acquire Madara Cosmetics by some larger players in the market?
So we rather often receive proposals to invest into Madara Cosmetics. These are more financial investors, We have not received recently any serious proposal for acquiring the whole company, and so we still our team, our the bigger owners still we think that we have energy to and ideas how we can further develop the company. So I think that that we would not accept any proposals that uh, would mean that the company is acquired 100%. So we would still like to work and to develop the company. Marta?
Thank you. What is the expected return of equity for coming years?
Um, yeah, sorry, I will not be able to answer you this question. So we can note this question, and then we can answer this then later. Sorry, I'm not able to answer this now.
Okay,
Marta?
thank you. The next question is about the culture. So what kind of culture in the company do you want to build, and how do you want Madara to be seen?
Yeah, so since humanity is one of the brand values, it should be also implemented in the company's culture. So our organization is uh, uh, flat, democratic, and open. So all of us in our company, we have equal rights. So yeah, this is the culture that everybody should be accepted and has the same rights. So this is how we see the company culture. Marta?
Thank you, Uldi. The next two questions are the latest ones we have received currently are to you personally, Uldi. So firstly, how do you spend your day, and what are your priorities in the day? And the second follow-up question is, Madara Cosmetics is a company that creates products mostly for ladies. As a male, so what motivates you to grow this company?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good questions. Yeah, so the first question, how does my day look? Then, yeah, so we have implemented quite strict rules, and office is working from home. At the moment, I'm in office, but usually I'm also working from home, and all our office people are working from home. Yeah, so the day starts with since I have three small kids, then the day starts with organizing uh, them. Yeah, the home learning, homeschooling. So this is part of my day, how it starts. Um, then usually we have the I would say half of my day is spent in meetings with speaking with colleagues and partners, and the rest working on other issues or answering emails and so on. The next question, so what motivates me? Yeah, it's a very good question. I don't know, what shall I say? Um I have been in this company since very beginning, and although the product is primarily produced for women, um, it's also good for men, and I just can say to all men that it's totally okay to use our products. Um, what motivates me? I I don't know. It's this environment, this team. I think in Madara, many of us, not only the founders, but also many of for many of our employees, this is more than a job, and for many of us, this is a lifestyle. So. Uh, all of us share the company values, the humanity, the sustainability. The sustainability aspect is actually quite important for me. With our activities in Madara, we try to uh, uh, improve the world, and it's actually quite important for me as well, that we probably with our activities make small impact on the society and world to be more sustainable, to be more uh, to be greener. Yeah, so this is what motivates me. Of course, also business. I have studied business, and it's also the results and the growth. It also motivates me. Yeah, hope I gave answer on your question. Marta, do
Thank
we have other questions?
No, all questions are currently answered. Uldi, thank you once more for the presentation and also for very interesting answers given. Participants, thank you for joining and asking questions. Recording of the webinar will be available in the Nasdaq Baltic YouTube channel and in company's announcements. Until next time.
Thank you for so many questions. Thank you. Bye.